U12. They've already gone further than they have before, and now the opportunity to go to the title game. So the first of the semi-finals about to take place here at the FIBA U17 World Championship for women. Myself, Tim Long, alongside former GB international Flinda Boyd, all set to talk you through the action at the Siglo XXI Pavilion in Zaragoza. Italy, who've never finished higher than 6th at the tournament, against China, bronze medalists in 2010. The prize, a chance to fight for gold in tomorrow's final. Kai Wang for China going inside straight away. Open layup missed, but the offensive ball grabbed and put back in.
I mean, that's what we're talking about. Nice early basket. The nerves you start to relax a little bit once you get that first one down.
Italy trying for their first score, move it around the perimeter to the far side. Good look for three, in and out.
You saw China there initially playing a 2-3 zone against Italy. And it's, you know, Italy shoots 28% from long distance, so probably a good idea, but they like to shoot. They shoot almost 20 three-pointers per game, so they're not afraid to hoist them up from outside.
Yuan Li controlling the ball for China onto Jiaqi Wang. Wang blocked off over on the far side of the court. He's moved in towards the paint again. China looking to use their physicality inside, but a double dribble called and a turnover.
Good defense by Italy. China ran a pick and roll. Italy hedged hard, sprinted all the way back with Madeira and forced the turnover.
Here's Pinzan for Italy, across to the far side to Madeira. Madeira again, looking across to Pinzan, open on this side of the court, dribbles into the paint. He's trying to find Kubai in the low post, forced away from the basket though, shot clock down to 3. Across it goes to the far side, the long 3 short from Pinzan.
Embrace yourself. We're going to see a lot of three-pointers from Italy in this game. China's happy to let them fire away from outside. That's pretty much their game plan. They're packing Zhang and Li in the key and forcing a lot of outside shots.
Yuan Li to the corner. Shan Li going inside again. China taking that route of attack each and every time. Back out to the perimeter it goes once more. And a whistle on the play, travel called, so 2 turnovers early on for China.
So you see the travel there by Li, just a little overexcited.
Almost 2 minutes in, Italy still searching for their first score. Pinzan. Fassina will put up another 3, can't hit.
You know, that's it, 3 possessions, 3 three-pointers. And I think Italy's okay to play that way, you know. Once they find their rhythm, once they get into a groove, they start hitting some shots. Then they're going to force China to step out and go into the man-to-man.
Well, Martina Fassina was shooting a remarkable 44% from the outside before that miss. Italy with a second and third chance opportunity now to try and finally stop the rot at the start of the game, but it's a shot clock violation.
Slow start for Italy so far. I think after 4 possessions, they can feel pretty good. They're only down by 2 points.
Yuan Li, that's because of the back-to-back turnovers for China. Can they protect the ball better here? Long ranger off the mark, and Italy able to secure the defensive rebound. Pinzan with the quarterback pass towards the baseline. All a little bit scatty and erratic from Italy.
Yeah, rough times from Italy, but China, they're running some great sets on the other end. They just haven't been able to convert. A couple turnovers last time, that open shot, they couldn't make it. But they look like they've scouted Italy. They know what they can do. They know where they can get their shots.
Yuan Li moving it across. They'll put up the long 2. Fassina got a piece of it, but also a piece of the player.
Again, very well organized play. A double screen there for Li. Comes off, 1 dribble, pulls up, and forces the foul. And here you see Li steps into the shot. And just a little nick on the arm, but that's all it takes.
just Shanli's second trip to the line in the tournament. She's averaging 5 points, 3 rebounds, 1.6 steals in 21 minutes so far. Gets them both. China doubling their advantage to 4 early on. Italy almost turning the ball over. It's still going to be their possession.
Yeah, and I got to be honest, I don't know if I agree with that call. It looked like it was touched by Italy last, but not a lot of argument from China. 3
minutes without a score as Fasina moves it in towards Kubai. Kubai into the paint, back out to Fasina. We know she can shoot the 3, steps inside for the mid-ranger. Off the mark, rebound grabbed by Zhu Han.
The better offense from Italy. Get it to the short corner, and then you've got high post, and then you've got shooters around the high post.
Here's Yuan Li. Kai Wang firing it to the corner. They'll try the 3. Way over the top of the basket by Jieqi Wang. Here comes Pinzan. Stops and pops at the foul line. Still can't hit, so Italy 3.5 minutes without a score. They're 0 of 6 from the field so far. China just 1 of 4. Kai Wang hands it off to Jieqi Wang. Jieqi Wang trying to get through the defense, just ran into trouble though. And by Pinzan. Sprays it across to the far side. They're trying to move it around into the low post. Nice roll towards the baseline, but she can't get the look of the roll on the rim.
Gorgeous move there. Just couldn't quite finish. Couldn't get the roll. Didn't have enough English on the ball to get it to go in, but nevertheless, confidence builder.
Powerful drive, but an offensive foul.
So I think it's fair to say it's been a rough start for both teams here. China up by 4, but they're 1 for 4 from the field with 4 turnovers so far.
You know, Italy 0 of 7 from the field, still without a score, but towards the midway point of the first quarter, they'll be delighted to only be down by 4. They need to get it going sooner rather than later. Vela moved around by Pinzan to Madeira, over to the far side again to Vela. Here's Pinzan, across to the corner. Fasina, the 3, can't hit. Another miss from the field, but an offensive rebound by Trucco. A fresh 14 to work with. Madeira, they're trying to force it into the basket, and eventually they do to stop the bleeding. Martina Fasina. Right on the midway point of the first, they finally get going. And then they're looking to force the turnover, but the piece is picked up by Zhu Han. There's the press at half court. Trying to wriggle free is Vela. Plenty of physicality at half court. 2 nations here who really want to be in the title game tomorrow.
You said, I mean, it looks like here, there you see the double team. Good strong hands by Vela to keep the ball.
There is Vela onto Madeira. Looking to find Pinzan, shot clock at 4. She puts it up from the outside, a miss, and another rebound for Zhu Han. Italy 0 of 5 from the outside. China trying to hit one themselves and do. Shanli for 3. And the timeout called. So China up by 7. And Shanli with 5. Zhu Han with 4. Now, one of these teams was going to start hitting eventually, and China have done so with Italy just 1 of 11 from the field now. Zhu Han doing the damage inside, 4 points, 5 rebounds, and Shan Li doing the damage from the outside. The three-pointer gives China a 7-point advantage.
Well, Han, she's a handful down low, 4 points, 5 rebounds already. She's just been cleaning up the glass. Italy, that's kind of been their bread and butter, is to get second chance points in this tournament. And so far, they haven't been able to do that.
Italy looking to close the gap off the back of the timeout. Out to the perimeter, they get inside to the paint. Good dribble, no finish at the end of it though. Vela picks up the pieces, tries to put it in. Second chance opportunity missed, another rebound for Zhu Han. Chi Wang. Back by Chang to Wang again. Onto the left hand, quick crossover. Zhu Han with a longer attempt this time. Rebound pulled down by Fasina. Fasina behind the back over half court. Onto Pinzan, and it goes towards the low post. Trying to turn to the baseline was Truco. Pass a little off the mark to the far side. Back across to Fasina. Steps away, moving to the left, can't hit the shot.
And who comes up with the rebound? Han. 7 rebounds already in the first 7 minutes of the game. She's on pace for 40 rebounds.
So 3 minutes to play in the first. Yuan Li. That's the long two for China. That's good. Beautiful arc, nothing but net.
And you see why this team beat Spain yesterday. They move the ball so well. They run their sets. Everybody on the team gets touches.
Italy looking for a quick score. Rattles around the rim and the offensive boards for Truco.
And we wondered which Italy team would show up here. The team that almost beat the USA or the team that struggled the next game against Mali. So right now, there's a tough rebound there by Truco, pulling the ball away from Zhang. And that's the kind of intensity and rebounding attitude that Italy needs to continue in this game.
Just one field goal in over 7 minutes for Italy. They've had 15 misses from the floor. Here's Vela. Pinzan across to the far side. The three is good, and how badly they needed that from Del Perro.
Well, you said it, partner. That's how they needed that so bad. They couldn't hit anything before that shot. They were 1 for 15.
And their first three after 5 straight misses. Yuan Li trying to answer back. An offensive rebound for China. Their second of the game. Yuan Li from the outside again. Italy this time able to protect their glass. Pinzan to the corner. Vela looking inside to Kubai. Kubai edging away into the paint, across to the far side to Del Perro. Hit the three on the last possession. They'll try from the corner this time with Pinzan. Back-to-back threes. Italy come alive.
And just like that, it's a three-point game. That's the beauty of the three-pointer. Once you hit one, it's almost like the entire team's confidence builds, splash straight through the bottom of the net. Del Perro, she's feeling it. Fist pump, high five. Italy just down 3 points.
So just 1 of 15 from the field. Italy then go and hit back-to-back three-pointers and get back within 3 of China. And all of a sudden, the momentum shifts their way.
And there you see the long bomb by Li. You know, China, they played well so far. It's just when you're playing a zone against a team like Italy who has capable shooters, your lead is never safe.
Those 2 three-pointers for Italy coming from 2 players who had been shooting under 30% from the outside in the tournament. This is the time to get going. And there's a foul there by Lorella Kubai as Zhu Han looked to score again.
Yeah, and Kubai, she doesn't think she fouled Han on that turnaround jump shot, but all it takes is a little tap on the elbow, and that's a foul. Here you see Han turns around, and clearly the arm against her forearm. Foul all day long.
What a game Zhu Han had in the quarterfinal a couple of days ago. 18 points, 18 rebounds, 5 blocks. Quite remarkable numbers. She's averaging a double-double through the tournament. 15.2 points, 10.2 boards, 2.8 block shots a game. Can't hit the foul shot though, and Italy only down by 4. 90 seconds remaining in the third. Trucco trapped in the corner. Can she find a way out from the double team? She can to Pinzan, and it's still Italy ball. Pinzan to inbound quickly. Kubai, space on the perimeter. They move it in and back out to Vela for 3. Not that time for Italy.
Looks like a foul. We're going to stay here. But that's good basketball. You get the ball to the high post in the zone. The defense collapses. You kick it out to your shooters, and you're going to have open shots. Eventually, you know, Italy, right now, they're only 3 for 18 shooting in this game, but those numbers are going to go up. They're going to get open shots. You know, it's basketball's percentages. As long as you're getting open shots, you're going to start to hit them.
So Italy at the line with Kubai. Not a very good foul shooter at all. 4 of 18 now in the tournament. Able to get the second one. That's a bonus for them.
And Italy now, they are in a press. 1-2-2, soft 1-2-2, now back into a zone.
Here's Yuan Li for China. Onto the left hand. Wide open shot on the perimeter. No good. Offensive board again, though. Linga Chang. They'll attack straight down the throw to the defense. Back out to the corner to Shan Li. They move it around to the far side where there's a good open look, but a travel call.
Yes, second travel call against Yuan Li. But you like what here you see. Just a little. It looked like she might have got the ball down before the travel. But nevertheless, turnover.
Janesic into the game for Italy. Bullet pass across to the far side of the court. They'll put it up from a couple of feet beyond the three-point line. And China come away with the ball, and now in transition can move quickly. Jia Chi Wang. Final seconds of the first quarter. The open 3 again. Too long this time from Linga Chang.
And Italy, they have to recognize the clock here. One shot. You got to get the ball to the right person now.
Pinzan looking into the low post. Good pass, good catch. Not a good finish, though. Final seconds of the first. China to put it up from half court. They lead by 3 at the end of 1. It was a pretty poor start for both teams. Italy really struggling from the field. Went down by as many as 7, then started to find their feet. Hit back-to-back 3-pointers to make it a 1-possession game. It is anybody's to play for over the next 30 minutes of basketball. But at the end of 1 here in Zaragoza, it's China who have the edge, 12-9 over Italy.
Here you see some game stats. If you're an Italy fan, whoa, cover your eyes. 3 for 21 from the field, only 2 free throws. China not bad, but they could put this game away if they were hitting some outside shots. 1 for 7, and then rebounds pretty even, 14 to 12. Italy, they started to get offensive rebounds. That's going to be the key for them to stay in this game. And then turnovers. China, that's been their Achilles heel, 5 turnovers. And of course, they had the 1 block from Han.
So China up by 3, led by the 5 points apiece from Zhu Han and from Shan Li. And Zhu Han, we talked about her big game in the quarterfinals, 5 points and 7 rebounds after just 10 minutes of basketball here. Chinese fans in the house. Plenty of supporters of all the teams here at the Final Four at the FIBA U17 World Championships for women. Friends and family in attendance too. Two teams desperate to go on to the title game. Could have got away from Italy in that first quarter, but they pulled it back with those two big three-pointers. And a look at the 6 second chance points there for Italy off the back of those 6 offensive rebounds. There is Zhu Han, who's had a very impressive outing already again. Start of the second quarter, Italy 9, China 12. Ionesich for Italy, as they look to close the gap to just 1 from the foul line. It pops in off the front rim.
A great seal by Trucco. Used her body to create space and then just turned and had a nice little 13, 14 footer.
Linga Chan going to put it up from just inside the arc. Can't hit. Rebound Italy, and now a chance for them to take the lead from 7 down. Del Perro, who got the comeback started with one of those 3-pointers from the foul line again. Back-to-back field goals for Trucco.
Well, they found the hole in that zone. It's right in the middle. It's at the high post. Trucco's exploiting it. She's the best on the team at knocking down those 12, 13, 14 footers.
Shooting over 50% in the tournament. Yuan Li. Around the perimeter they go through Linga Chang all the way to the far corner. The 3 short from them and grabbed by Kubai. Elisa Pinzan, the main facilitator of this team, trying to find Trucco again on the foul line. Knocked away though. The court completely open for the layup from Jie Wang. Del Perro across to the corner. There's the double team. Space if they can get out of it. They do. It's Del Perro on the far side. Pinzan onto the right hand towards the baseline. Floats it up. Can't finish. Offensive board though for Trucco in a fresh 14. Pinzan calling for it on the near side. Reaches her eventually and she fires the 3. Trucco another offensive rebound. She's having a real impact.
In China, they have to do a better job of rebounding. You can't keep giving up second chances for Italy. Eventually, they're going to score.
Mid-ranger is slightly too long. Another 14 seconds for Italy.
And China needs to think about going into a man-to-man. Just too difficult for them to rebound in this zone.
Pinzan. They're going to try and work it inside. Pinzan then creates space on the perimeter and hits. Well, eventually, those lack of rebounds were going to come back and hurt China.
Yeah, but that 3-pointer right there was because Wang tried to gamble and steal the ball. If you're in a zone, you have to stay home. You have to be cautious.
Yuan Li to Shan Li. Onto the foul line it goes. Linga Chang moves it back to the perimeter. The 3 for them. Off the mark and tipped out of bounds. It's Italy ball. It's 9 offensive rebounds in less than 13 minutes for Italy now.
Yeah, and China, they at some point are going to have to think about going into a man-to-man. It's just far too difficult to rebound in a zone, especially against this Italy team who attacks the glass so well.
Del Perro. And it goes to Kubai across to the far side. Del Perro again. And keeps switching it from one flank to the other. And it's knocked away off the fingertips of Trucco. China have missed 6 3-point attempts in a row. Will they try and go inside this time? They will. It's a lovely pass to Zhu Han and a simple 2 points for her.
Well, I was just about to say that Han hasn't touched the ball down low enough, but that's one way to get it to her, is to penetrate and force the defense to commit.
Level at 16. Kubai was looking to drive the baseline, just about staying in bounds is Morto. The 3 from the top of the key, off the mark. And they try and get another offensive rebound, but pushed into Chinese possession. Jie Wang towards the foul line. Great diligence getting back on defense in transition, and the foul on half court.
And a good smart foul, a professional foul to stop the fast break. You know, And it feels like the game's tied, but it feels like Italy is in complete control right now because they're dominating the glass. I mean, rebounds are so important. There you see the foul by Wang to stop the fast break. Good foul. Madeira now checks in. But China have to do a better job of rebounding. They have to figure that out.
Del Perro. Trucco. Oh, banks it in this time. Valeria Trucco having a good game.
She is dominating that 10, 12-foot area near the dotted line.
6 points and 6 rebounds in under 10 minutes for her now. Jia Wang. Tong Zhao. And the foul as Shan Li put it up. China to the line to try to tie. We talked about Zhu Han having not touched the ball as much in this second quarter. 5.7 rebounds in the first. She hasn't had a rebound here in the second and just 2 points.
Yeah, and I think one of the things is she needs to be a little more involved on the offense. You know, sometimes players, if they're not touching the ball on offense, just subconsciously, they start to lose a little bit of focus.
1 of 2 from the stripe for Shan Li. Italy by 1. Ionezic moving it on, getting it back here from Zamorto, across to the far side to Del Perro. Del Perro stepping in. Now move it again, once more to Trucco. She rolls away from Zhu Han. Beautiful move down the baseline. She's getting the better of the battle of the bigs right now.
Yeah, and if we had to pick an MVP of this game, you know, 15 minutes into it, she's the one because she's completely transformed this game when she came onto the court.
8 points now to lead all scorers in the game. China into the paint, running into trouble, but a foul called.
And China has found success when they're able to penetrate, get into the teeth of the defense, and force Italy to commit. Over and over, we've seen they draw fouls or they're able to drop it off for easy layups. That's something they're going to have to do a lot more of in this game. Great drive all the way to the hole and forces the foul. Little push on Bella.
So at the line, it's Tong Zhao, one of the lesser used players for China at this tournament, averaging just 7 minutes a game. It's actually just 1 of 6 from the foul line now, make it 2 of 7. Midway point of the second quarter, Italy by 2.
China now switched it up to a 3-2 defense now.
Vela calling for the ball in the near corner. Still calling for it, surrounded on the edge of the paint though, and putting it in was Sara Madeira. That's her first score of the game.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem when you go to a 3-2 defense instead of a 2-3. You guard the perimeter, but you open up areas inside.
Long ranger for Zhu Han, can't hit. Here come Italy quickly with Zamorto. Held up though by Tong Zhao, trying to get away, high off the glass, rebound for Tong Zhao.
Hey, and I like the enthusiasm, nearly a gorgeous play. Spin move around 2 Chinese defenders and almost kissed it off the top of the glass.
Tong Zhao almost picked off before it could reach Shan Li. Shan Li's going to fire the 3 well short of the basket. And China now just 1 of 10 from downtown.
Yeah, and frankly, so far, China, they look a little bit tired. You know, when you're working so hard on defense because teams are getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound, it starts to wear you down. And Trucco now comes out of the game with a very well-deserved rest.
Both teams struggling from the three-point line, China more so. Madeira. This is Vela. Back to Madeira on the far side, puts up the long 2. Can't get it to go, but she throws herself to the deck to try and secure the possession. Good hustle play and a little banged up. It's a tight semi-final and those kind of plays are invaluable. Not afraid to put her body on the line. Madeira. Zamorto. This is Kubai, moves it across to Vela. Shot clock at 5. Vela steps in. Can't hit the mid-ranger. They're able to secure the offensive rebound.
Wow, what a
And an
save.
extra 14. Brilliantly done on the baseline. Zamorto got the double team on the perimeter and space to attack inside. The layup off the mark though for Kubai.
You know, and again, offensive rebound, this time a team offensive rebound. And I don't know if you want to know the offensive rebound stats because they're pretty shocking. 12 so far in 17 minutes for Italy.
Here's Vela. They have to put up a shot here. They weren't aware. There was only 3 seconds remaining on the shot clock as they inbounded the ball.
And the Italy coach is yelling at his teammates. You know, that's always the point guard's job. Whenever you're on the court, the point guard has to look up at the clock and tell everybody how much time is left.
Final 3 minutes of the first half. Italy by 4. Fired in towards the low post and put in by Zhu Han.
And that's good offense by China. Cross screen. Get Han rolling to the hoop. Nice, easy basket.
Madeira to Pinzan. Across to the far side to Facina. There's the double team on the edge of the paint. They've knocked the ball away. And they've forced the turnover.
And China, they're mixing it up. You know, they're not just sticking to a 2-3 defense. Han, nice cut, nice catch, nice finish. You know, we talked to the Chinese coaches before the game, and they said Han is one of the best prospects they've had in years coming up. She's only 16. She'll be, you know, she's a year younger than a lot of her teammates.
Jie Wang to the corner. The 3 for Yuan Li. No, offensive board for them though. Linga Chang up against Facina. Tong Zhao across to this side to Yuan Li again, looking to drive the baseline with the left hand, flips it up, couldn't quite get it to drop. Offensive board again though. China giving Italy a bit of a taste of their own medicine. There's the 3, it's good for Yuan Li.
China starting to find some rhythm. And one of the reasons because they switched up the defense, so they're much more intense now on defense, and that carries over to the offensive side of the ball. See them double teaming in the corners, sprinting after the ball, everything's changed.
Just 3 offensive rebounds in the game before those back-to-back offensive boards. And there's a block as well from Zhu Han. Italy still in possession. Long 3 at the end of the shot clock. Zhu Han with a rebound. Zhu Han getting involved in this second quarter now at both ends of the court. Trying to turn it over though. The pass slightly behind Tong Zhao, who couldn't handle.
Great block by Han, coming over from the weak side against Madeira. China has started to turn their fortunes around in this game.
So China up now by 1, 23-22. Zhu Han leading the way with 9 points, 8 rebounds, and that big block that we've just seen. There's a look at the team leaders for China. The 9 points, 8 rebounds from Zhu Han. 3 assists as well from Zhang. And China up by 1 here with just over a minute remaining of the first half. FIBA U17 World Championships for women, the semi-final. The winners looking to go into the gold medal match to face either USA or Australia, who play on this court later today. Facina, Italy looking to retake the lead. Pinzan, across to the far side to Vela. Vela pulls up for the mid-ranger, can't hit, big offensive rebound from Madeira. Blocked in though in the low post, finds a way out. Houdini move and Pinzan puts it in.
Hard work by Madeira, gets the rebound, and then is able to squeeze a pass to her teammate. Pinzan lays it in. There you see Madeira. Double team, good strength to split the double team. Pinzan lays it in, good cut to the hoop by her.
Pinzan level with Trucco, 8 points apiece for Italy. So Italy back up by 1, and after good runs for both teams, we're now seeing a little series of lead changes. There you see the 8 points apiece for Trucco and Pinzan. They're doing the damage for Italy at the moment. 6 rebounds as well for Trucco. We know that Madeira can start scoring at any given moment as well. Just 2 points so far for Italy's leading scorer.
Yeah, but she's done a lot of the dirty work down low. We saw in the last play, getting rebounds. She's got 4 rebounds. She's got an assist. She's doing things to help the team. And now Italy trying to give China a taste of their own medicine. They're in a 1-3-1 zone.
Yuan Li across to Jie Wang for 3. Brilliantly done.
And that's difficult. You're in a 1-3-1 zone. You're putting Madeira on the wing, and you want her to close out to shooters at the top of the key. That's not what she's used to doing.
So China back up by 2. The lead changes continue. Italy with a wide open 3. They take the lead.
Said we haven't heard from Madeira. She hasn't scored a lot today, and there she steps out, knocks down the 3-pointer again. Italy in the 1-3-1.
Shot clock turned off at the end of the first half. 10 seconds for China to create a good look. Italy trying to pick the ball off. Still Chinese possession. 5.4 to play in the second. Who's going to have the lead at halftime? Jie Wang inbounding the ball. They try and move it straight away to Zhu Han in the low post. Italy have to throw it up from half court. Wasn't too far off from Pinzan. It is Italy who lead at the break, led by the 8 points apiece of Trucco and Pinzan, but Madeira's come to the party as well with a big 3-pointer to get them ahead in the final seconds of the second quarter. China just down by 1, led by the 9 points and 8 rebounds of Zhu Han. It should be a really intriguing second half. At the break, Italy 27, China 26. So let's take a look at some of the statistics from the first half of this semi-final. The shooting numbers here. China impressive inside, both teams struggling from the outside though, and Italy not with the best shooting percentages all round. They've only got to the line once.
And what's interesting there is Italy's taken 15 more shots than China because they've gotten 14 offensive rebounds. You see here, the assists pretty even, fouls relatively even. China, they've cut down their turnovers. They had a lot of turnovers the first few minutes of the game, not very many since. Here you see the leaders for the game. Trucco, 6 rebounds. She was immense. Pinzan's played very well. 3 assists, 8 points.
As we take a look at some of the highlights from the first half, we've seen as well the 2 bigs, one for either team, really dominating in passages of this game. Zhu Han, 9 points, 8 rebounds. Trucco for Italy, 8 points, 6 rebounds. It seems to be that when one of those two is fed the ball and finds their rhythm, that their team get out on top. And Italy, if they can get Sara Madeira going from the field as well, will have a chance of extending this lead. China struggling, just 3 of 13 from the outside. They've done well when they've been able to get it into the hands of Zhu Han in the low post. An intriguing second half indeed set to come here at the FIBA Under-17 Women's World Championships. These two teams 20 minutes of basketball away from a potential gold medal match. Join us again for the second half in around 10 minutes time. At the break, Italy leading China 27-26. welcome back to the Siglo XXI Arena here in Zaragoza, as we just have seen the highlights of the first half. A very close first half between Italy and China in this FIBA U17 Women's World Championship semi-final. Italy by 1, 27-26, as we get ready to start the second half, led by the 8 points apiece of Valeria Trucco and Pinzan. Shanli there for China, the number 7, 6 points for her. She's their second leading scorer after Zhu Han, the big inside, 9 points and 8 rebounds for the Chinese. And it seems to be that when the big in either one of these teams gets involved, gets on the ball, that their team get on top. Zhu Han doing that job for China, and for Italy, Valeria Trucco with 8 points and 6 rebounds. Italy have shown a bit more depth over the course of the game so far. They've outscored China 11 points to 3 from the bench. They've had also 5 points from Sara Madera, who we expect to really get going in the second half. She's their leading scorer in the competition, 12.2 points per game on average over the course of the first 4 games. Linga Chan hitting one from downtown for China, but they have struggled from 3-point range, just 3 of 13. Italy with one from Beatrice Del Perro. That was their first from the outside, having missed their opening 5 shots from long range. They finished the half 4 of 15 from downtown, and Elisa Pinzan there with 8 points, also leading the way for Italy with 3 assists. Their leading facilitator at this tournament so far.
And you know, you watch this game, you say, what are these coaches, what did they tell their players at halftime? And I think if you're China, it's about keeping the defensive intensity up, because when they're playing well on defense, it seems to translate directly to offense, more so than we've seen at other teams, especially Han down low. When she's active defensively, all of a sudden she's much more active on the offensive end. And I think if you're Italy, it's just continue what you've been doing, crash the boards. Your shots are going to fall, keep crashing the boards. You know, after the first 5 or 6 minutes, Italy played very well in this match. And I think if you're the Italian coaching staff, you don't want to overthink things on defense. You don't want to try and throw out too many gimmick defenses. Just play hard-nosed, man-to-man defense and push the ball.
And I talked about when the bigs are playing well, the team seems to be playing well. Zhu Han's played the whole 20 minutes of this semi-final so far. 7 rebounds for her in the first quarter, just 1 in the second. What changed there?
Well, I think it's what we're talking about. The defense became so passive that, you know, everybody around her didn't have their intensity, and that filtered down to her as well. And it's important in these first few minutes to maintain that intensity.
Italy start the second half up by 1, 27-26. Pinzan across to the corner. Drive down the baseline under the basket here from Vela. Pinzan trying to fire it in, and the pass picked off.
And just far too over-elaborate there. Against the zone, nice easy passes, you'll find space.
Kai Wang looking to go one-on-one in the paint here. Back out, forced away by Madera. Jia Wang, another pass picked off, so both teams start the second half with back-to-back turnovers.
Let's hope the third quarter doesn't start like the first quarter did.
Italy moving it around the perimeter to Pinzan. Pinzan, a more accurate pass this time, the long 2 short though from Kubai.
Interesting there, a bit of a matchup zone against Italy. Seems to have thrown them off in the first couple of possessions.
Yuan Li slowing it down for China. Linga Chang around the perimeter. Yuan Li again onto the right hand, looking to drive into the paint now, tried to dish it off, and Italy cutting out the passing lanes, trying to grab the ball. China in danger of turning it over again. It is still Chinese possession. Jia Wang to inbound, just 2 to shoot. They have to put it up straight away. It's well wide, well high off the backboard from Yuan Li. Vela moved on, gets it back on the perimeter. They fire it in. A chance to attack one-on-one inside. Left hand won't go off the glass.
An Italian coach telling Kubai, you can go one-on-one there, but when the defense collapses, you've got shooters on the perimeter.
Pinzan to inbound, goes long. That's a long three, nearly went down. So no score at all in this second half so far. China trying to change that. The open three from the corner is good for Linga Chang.
No hesitation whatsoever. As soon as Zhang caught it, it was going up, nothing but net.
5 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists for her. China up by 2. Vela to the baseline, swung around the perimeter. They'll drive inside again. Nice pass to Vela. The short one pops out for her. Vela trying to grab it on the deck. China looking to save it and do.
Bit unlucky there for Italy, but that's great offense. Penetrate, kick, you've got a wide open shot.
In that corner spot, Linga Chang again, where she hit on the last offensive possession. Now it's Yuan Li. Looking to make a move inside was Kai Wang. They'll fire it up from the outside again. Not this time as it bounces off the top of the backboard. Offensive board recovered though by Linga Chang, and it's still Chinese possession.
And China now working hard on the offensive glass, trying to give Italy a taste of their own medicine. A scrum for the ball. 4 players look like they touched it, finally off Italy.
Linga Chang again. A couple of big plays already in this second half for her. Jie Wang's three-pointer off the mark, and Italy able to grab it and cling on to it, Lorella Kubai. We know that Linga Chang can be one of the standout players for China. 15 points, 15 rebounds in the quarter-final. She had just 2 points and 4 rebounds in the first half here, but already 3 points and 2 boards in just 3 minutes of the second half.
China now back into a 2-3. It's really almost a box and one against Madeira. It's interesting defense they're running.
Vela across to this near side to Fasina, hangs it high over the top of Zhu Han.
China's just really trying to confuse Italy as much as they can. And sometimes it's worked, but Italy, for their part, as long as they're moving the ball, they're able to find openings.
The level at 29. China will take on the 3 and knock it down.
Big time shot from Wang. We said she had the ability to do a little bit of everything, can rebound, can pass, can shoot it from outside, can score from the inside. We see a little bit of that there.
Pinzan, across to the far side it goes. Calling for it in the center was Kubai. Underneath the basket goes for Sina. Kubai now with the long 2, and the rebound Wang. China up by 3, looking to extend their advantage here. It's been a single possession game for some time now. It's knocked away in front of Zhu Han.
And Trucco coming back into the game for Fasina. She was immense in the first and second quarter. She's the reason that Italy got back into the game in the first place.
Wide open 3. Not this time for China.
It's a good opportunity here for Italy to push the ball before China can get set.
Pinzan trying to find Trucco on the foul line. Bounced away and into Chinese possession. Yuan Li. China another chance to make it a 2-possession game for the first time in a long time. Linga Chan knocked away and gathered in by Sara Madeira. Midway point of the third. Trucco on the baseline now, underneath the basket, trying to create room to flip it up and in was Kubai.
Oh, impressive move over Han. Kubai took her time, got her feet set, and was able to squeeze it just past the outstretched arms of Han.
And that takes some doing. Corner 3, over the top of the basket, grabbed by Pinzan. Italy with a chance to take the lead. Quarterback pass from Pinzan, not able to make the most of it.
There you see the three-pointer, knocks it down. The Chinese fans go absolutely nuts. They know their team can get to the finals with a victory here.
Pinzan to Truco, and around the perimeter to Vela. Kubai was calling for it. Vela clings onto it. Truco, Pinzan. Pinzan looking to drive into the paint. There's the nice pass. Drive down the baseline, high off the window. Beautiful finish from Kubai.
Now, you know what Kubai did very well there? As the penetration was happening, she moved along the baseline so that Han wasn't able to track her, and then she finished on the opposite end of the hoop.
4 points in the second half for Kubai after just 1 in the whole of the first half. Yuan Li across to the far side to Shan Li, around to the corner, another three-point attempt, short this time. Italy secure the defensive rebound. Pinzan pirouettes away, then to the foul line, stops and pops, can't get the drop.
Well, gorgeous move, just couldn't finish it. And Italy needs to do more of that, push the ball before China can get set.
Knocked away from behind, no, she lost the handle on it, Italy ball.
I think for China, what you don't want to do is push the ball too much. They've been able to function very well against Italy's half-court defense.
So Italy by 1, 3.5 minutes to play in the third. Pinzan into the foul line to Truco. Truco turning to face the basket. Pinzan calling for it back on the perimeter. She finds the pass to the low post instead. Trying to find a route to the rim. Whereas Kubai couldn't finish this time.
Great hustle by Madeira. She hasn't had her best offensive game, but doing little things to help the team. And frankly, on that replay, it might have been off Madeira at last.
Italy with a fresh 14. Kubai unable to hit again inside. Back-to-back misses for her. And a foul called, I think it's on Jia Wang.
Again, 2 offensive rebounds on this possession. There you see the move by Kubai.
Final 3 minutes of the third. Fight across to Vela. Vela driving on the left hand towards the baseline. Forced away. 5 left to shoot now, and it goes to Truco. Gets a bit of space in front of her and knocks it down.
And Han has to close that gap. Truco has shown over and over that that's her shot. She owns the 10-foot, 11-foot, 12-foot area.
Wide open 3 for China for Shan Li. Can't get it to drop. There's a whistle on the play. You know, just going back to that previous possession, and Truco, 8.6 rebounds in the first half. That's her first score or rebound at all in the second half. Italy were well on top when she was on top.
China there, defensive foul away from the ball on that play, so China gets a second chance. Tons of offensive rebounds in this game. China now, they've got 8 offensive rebounds.
Yuan Li to the far side. They'll shoot for 3 again. Defense flying over to try and cover, and the shot's off the mark. Pinzan. Across to the far side. Wide open 3 for Italy. And Elena Vella knocks it down.
Great ball movement. Starts on one side to the top of the key. Swing it over. China just couldn't recover in time. And Italy maybe starting to run away with this game.
You know, she's had plenty of good looks from downtown. Hasn't taken them. Has decided not to shoot. Just couldn't resist that one. And that one from Jieqi Wang answers right back.
And Wang, with a lot of confidence, we said Italy might be running away from this game. She said, not so fast.
Foul from behind by Shan Li. Going back to that three-pointer from Vella, she was only 2 of 10 from the outside over the course of the first few games, so you can understand her hesitation in putting it up, but she nailed that one.
And it's worth mentioning that Han and Wang, China's 2 best players, have played almost every minute of this game. At some point, they're going to start to wear down.
Pinzan onto the left hand, looking to get into the paint, moves it on to Kubai. Oh, put in with the foul. Madeira taking charge in the third.
You knew at some point she was going to start to get it going. Only 5 points before that shot. She leads the team in scoring. And she's watched Truco live at that 8-10 foot range. There's a lot of space there against China in this zone, and she was able to find it and get the and one.
3-point play completed by Sara Madeira. And Italy by 5. I believe this is their largest lead of the game.
Italy now, they drop back into a 2-3 zone.
Trying to move it to the corner, Shan Li. And it goes to Xu Han, can't finish inside.
Han has to have a little bit more poise there. Get her feet set before trying to make that layup.
Truco knocks it down after the quick pass from Pinzan.
Well, they definitely found the space in that zone, and Truco has exploited it all game long.
She's 6 of 6 inside. 12 points leads Italy in scoring. Italy up by 7. Corner 3. No good offensive rebound. They move it around to the perimeter inside to Xu Han. Has to finish, but doesn't. Grabs her own rebound. China can't secure the second chance opportunity, though.
Now China, they've got to pick up the intensity on defense. They've got to stop the bleeding a little bit.
Pinzan to Vella. Drive to the baseline. There comes the double team. Back out to Kubai. In it goes to the low post. Great ball movement from Italy. And Madeira scores again.
Well, you love when the bigs pass between each other. Kubai to Madeira. Opened up the defense. And now Italy up 9.
Largest lead of the game for either team. Shan Li trying to change that. Banks in the 3. Right at the buzzer at the end of the third.
And that's on the Italy coach. You don't run a zone at the end of a quarter when you haven't played one hardly at all the entire game. There you see the little Truco with the easy shot. They allowed China to hit a 3 at the end of the third. And then I tell you, those points at the end of quarters, they're worth more. Big to big passing, oh, absolutely gorgeous. Madeira finishes. She's up to double digits in this game.
So at the half, or at the end of 3, I beg your pardon, Italy by 6 have had the largest lead of the game at 9. And at the half, Madeira had just 5 points. She had 5 in that third quarter. 2 players in double figures for Italy, as we see the shooting numbers here. Both sides still struggling slightly from the outside, but roughly the same shooting percentages inside and out, although Italy putting up a great deal more shots because of those 18 offensive boards, and that has translated into 12 second chance points to China's 5, and that 7-point difference is essentially the difference in the game.
Well, absolutely. China, they're throwing a lot of three-pointers up in this game. They haven't hit many of them, but you got to think eventually they're going to start to hit one or two of them. But Italy, you know, they found their rhythm against that zone. They're starting to pick it apart. China has to think about other ideas, other options. If they want to stay in a zone, are they going to try something else? Are they going to go to a matchup? They try to box and one a couple possessions. They try to 3-2, a 2-3. And Italy now feels like they can score against any of them. So, you know, China, what do you do if you're the China coach? Well, I think it starts on offense. You've got to continue to run your offense and get baskets and force Italy to go against your set defense.
China have taken 11 more three-point attempts than they have two-point attempts. And only shooting 27% from the outside. Just 15 attempts inside throughout the whole of the first three quarters. It's Italy by 6 at the start of the fourth, 44-38. And it goes inside to Zhu Han, knocked away from her. Here comes Madeira. Pinzan. Truco. Truco going to fire again. Can't hit, that's her first miss inside. Offensive rebound though.
Well, better defense from Han, but frustrating if you're China. You got to grab some boards.
Around the screen of Truco goes Pinzan. She fires the long two. Was well guarded that time, another offensive rebound.
You know, this is now the third chance on this one possession, and that starts to wear teams down, not just physically, but emotionally. You're constantly playing defense. Nobody wants to play defense. They want to play offense.
Italy have had as many offensive boards as they have defensive boards. How often do you see that? Kubai. Faking towards the baseline, twisting and turning, great footwork, can't finish.
Good rebound by Han.
Jia Wang. Moved on by Ru Chang across to the far side. Shan Li. Again, low post, this time finishing Zhu Han.
And I'm curious that Italy stays in that 2-3 defense. I think for China, that's ideal for them because they can start to pick it apart, and Han's going to be able to get more rebounds, and they're going to find open threes.
There's Verona into the game for Italy, moving it on to Kubai. Kubai looking to drive inside on the left hand, gets contact along the way from Zhu Han.
Strong move from Kubai. She's been immense in this second half. 7 rebounds, leads the team. We saw some great passing earlier. And there you see her take it strong to the hoop against Han.
Kubai struggling from the foul line though in this tournament, able to bank the first one in. Only 4 of 17 over the first 4 games. She's had a big role to play today, and how about that? Having been shooting 24%, she gets both of them.
Clutch players make clutch shots. Italy now, again, they're going to go back into the zone, the 2-3.
Italy by 6. It's been a single-digit game throughout.
And you know, there's still 8.5 minutes to go, but I would say this is a crucial possession for China to get this game manageable, to get it back to 4 or 3 points.
They'll shoot from the foul line, offensive rebound and a foul.
And Italy has to get out of that zone. They're just, it's not what they want to do. They're much better man-to-man team. They want to play with intensity. They want to play physical. Zone just doesn't really work for their personnel. Offensive rebound, easy offensive rebound. Kubai with no choice but the foul.
First foul shot missed from Ru Chang. Hasn't been shooting well at this tournament, just 27% from the field. Gets the second foul shot to drop. China by 5. Remember that 4 of Italy's 5 games have been decided by 4 points or less. Madeira edging her way closer and closer to the basket. Fakes one way, shoots the other, and gets contact.
Tough call. Great block by Han. Good foul. Zhang, oh yeah, all over the arm. Good call by the referee. Zhang just got beat and reached in. 2 shots for Madeira.
Second foul on Chang. Madeira at the foul line where she's been pretty good, shooting 77%, getting there on a regular basis. This is the first, and she's disappointed with herself. They know that each and every point matters at this stage. Second one good. Italy up by 6, 8 minutes to play in this semi-final. Quick pass down court, just about handled by Ru Chang. Jia Wang hanging it high towards Zhu Han. Good effort from Truco to get back and tip it out of bounds.
A good pass and good steal by Han, forcing the foul. That's Truco's second now. Not a lot of foul trouble. Zhang on China with 3.
Zhu Han across to the far side, Shan Li. Zhu Han calling for the ball high again. Goes the other way this time to Linga Chang. Across to the corner, 5 left to shoot. Blocked. And back into Italy possession. Kubai coming up big at both ends of the court. Verona, 7.5 to play. Madeira. Verona again. Slowing it down, then bursting past Truco, trying to lay it up and in. Rebound Zhu Han. A double-double for her now. Ru Chang from the outside over the top of the basket.
Good smart foul by China to stop the fast break, but now Italy shooting 2 free throws the rest of the way in this game already with 7 minutes left. Wang's gonna have to come out with her third. And that's bad for China. She's the catalyst for this China team.
And Italy, who have some very capable foul shooters. Most of their big players over 70% from the foul line. Truco spinning back away from the baseline, gets it in the corner, plays out to the press. Has to catch it high. Shot clock down to 5. China really trying to get the defensive stop here and do. Yuan Li quickly down court. China could really do with the score. Linga Chang. It's been a pretty dry fourth quarter for them so far as it goes into Zhu Han, knocked away out of bounds.
China as well, they have to find a rhythm against this zone. Sometimes it takes a few possessions. They were pretty successful early on, and they can get what they want as long as you don't travel like that. Lee, her 3rd travel of the game.
That's been her downfall throughout this tournament. 3.6 assists, but also 3.6 turnovers a game. China's 13th turnover of this one, and the foul now from Yuan Li.
Well, coaches tell you don't compound mistakes with another mistake. After the travel, she fouls 40 feet from the basket there. You see hands all over Fasina, and she's going to head to the line.
Fasina, one of those players who has been shooting well from the line, 77%. This is the first, though. Averaging 10 points per game, as well as a team-high 2.2 steals. Fasina misses both of them, and Zhu Han grabs the rebound. She's only got 4 points today. Yuan Li. China with another chance to close the gap with 6 minutes of this semi-final to play. Around it goes to Yuan Li in the corner. The 3-pointer is good to halve the deficit.
And that's clutch. After you make 2 straight errors, to step up with that kind of confidence to help your team After that three-pointer, all is forgiven.
Doubles her tally for the game. A foul on Linga Chang off the ball.
Remember, every single foul is free throws for Italy the rest of the way. And we know Trucco can shoot it well from this kind of range.
Into the game comes Jia-Chi Wang again. And out goes Wu Chang.
Where you see look like a push off the ball from Zhang. And China, they have to bring Wang back in because she's so important to what they do. Down 4 points as we head down the home stretch.
Valeria Trucco leading the way for Italy with 13 points and 6 rebounds today. Add one more to that tally. So Italy by 5 with less than 6 minutes to play in this semi-final. Largest lead has been 9. Yuan Li. Yuan Li on to Linga Chang. Shot clock down to 5 as they go inside to Xu Han again. She gets the drop this time.
Great seal. I mean, that's what you teach your bigs. Down low, duck in, seal, call for the ball, and then have the ability to finish off the glass.
Xu Han 6 of 11 inside for 13 points. Madeira fakes the pass, twists back in the paint, shot clock down to 3. And Madeira's going to turn the ball over.
Madeira trying to do a little bit too much on her own there. Allow your guards to create for you sometimes. Han with a gorgeous move with the right hand.
Yuan Li. Jia-Chi Wang across to the far side via Xu Han. Yuan Li now a chance to attack from Minji Wang.
Whoa!
The roll! How about that?
What a play with the left. And all of a sudden, China down by 1 point.
She's averaging under 10 minutes a game. She's only just come into this one. And what a way to introduce yourself. Final 4.5 minutes. The 3 for Italy over the top of the backboard and grabbed the second chance opportunity. They're up by just 1. Madeira puts the ball on the floor into the paint. Whoa. Layup is good. Brilliant move from her.
That's a big time move against the larger player. Ball fake up and under. Kevin McHale would be proud.
Italy by 3. Dominating on the inside. China putting up an awful lot of three-point attempts. Madeira trying to force the turnover. Still Chinese possession.
Well, Madeira couldn't get it. Good hustle, but now China with only 6 on the shot clock, they've got to move fast. Great hustle by Madeira. All over the place in this game.
With under 4 minutes to play, we're going to have a timeout. Just a 1 possession game. It's been a single digit game throughout. Italy with the largest lead at 9. China have been able to pull it back close here towards the end of the 4th. Wonderful move from Minji Wang, having just come into the game. She'd only shot 2 of 18 from the field before this semi-final. Two players in double figures for each team. 14 for Trucco, 13 for Madeira, but for China, the big double-double from Xu Han. 14 rebounds, 13 points to lead them in both departments. They've also had 11 points from Jia-Chi Wang. They have to get a quick shot here off the timeout, and they don't. Well, how can you not be aware of the shot clock off the back of the timeout?
And that's the coach's problem there. The players need to know, hey, this is the play, this is how long you have to do it, and you've got to get a shot off.
Shot clock violation for China.
China now, man-to-man defense.
Fasina, 3.5 to play. Fasina trying to get into the paint. Nice pass into the low post towards Madeira, and she's fouled.
And it's difficult. You haven't played man-to-man all game. It's a great pass there to Madeira, forces the foul. And then all of a sudden you're man-to-man. It's just your principles are all different defensively.
Madeira at the line again. And adding to her tally, now tying level with Trucco as Italy's leading scorer on 14. Got 14 points in the quarter-final. She's just about able to surpass that tally here in the semi-final. Italy in the driver's seat at the moment, up by 5, but still 3.5 to play. And by Jieqi Wang. Here she is again. Plenty of movement. Xu Han's come to the high post. There's space in the low post, but the layup blown by Linga Chang.
And China hopes that's not a layup that will come back to haunt them.
Pinzan on the foul stripe, able to get the bounce and the roll was Sara Madeira. She's now got 17.
What you love about Madeira's game is she's so efficient. Doesn't need a lot of time, doesn't need a lot of space.
Oh, picked off by Madeira.
And she can play defense.
Big play on the defensive end and draws the contact from Yuan Li.
Well, she started out slow, but all of a sudden she's taken over this game. Leading the game and scoring with 17. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, steals. Way to jump the passing lane. And then Lee doesn't have a choice but the foul, and it's a good foul.
So we're going to have another timeout with less than 3 minutes to play in this FIBA U17 World Championship for Women semi-final match of a single-digit game throughout. Xu Han leading the way for China, 13 points and 14 rebounds. Italy, who lead though, thanks to those 17 points from Madeira. Kubai's had a big impact as well, 7 rebounds to lead the team in that department. Pinzan, 5 assists along with 5 boards and 8 points. The Chinese fans still believe that their team have a chance of making it to the gold medal match.
Well, it's going to be tough from this point on, but they've got to be efficient on offense. You can't miss easy layups. You can't make turnovers. You have to have one good possession after another. I think you got to force the action a little bit defensively.
Sara Madeira now 5 of 6 from the foul line. Had an extra 1, 19 points in the game for her. The leading scorer looking to lead Italy to the final. It's back to the largest lead of the game at 9, and China are running out of time. Jieqi Wang. High pass caught by Xu Han. She needs to start putting them in.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you've got to get a stop here first before you can start thinking about the next possession.
Fasina on to Pinzan. Pinzan firing it towards Kubai. Kubai backing in, trying to get towards the paint. Mid-range and no good over the top of the defense. We're into the final 2 minutes. Linga Chang, China really need this one, they don't get it.
China running out of time here. If you're Italy, just be efficient, take your time, use the whole shot clock, get the ball to Madeira.
Fasina, we need a defensive stop. Kubai, Pinzan, final seconds of the shot clock, just 90 seconds to play. Circus shot no good from Pinzan.
Push the ball if you're China, push the ball.
The three-point attempt is good. Yuan Li keeps China's hopes alive.
And Li, before she hits big shots when her team needs them, let's see if China can come up with a defensive stop and make this a game.
Fasina taking those precious seconds off the game clock. Behind the back she goes. Long two for Fasina, short. China need to grab it and don't. Madeira with the rebound and a fresh 14.
That's a disaster if you're China. You play good defense, come up with the ball.
Pinzan, shot clock down to the final few seconds, and Italy turn it over, but we've only got 54.3 to play.
An offensive foul against Fasina. That's a call they started to call more in the last 2 or 3 years. I'm not a huge fan. Let them play.
The Italian fans trying to will their team over the finish line. Up by 6, fired in, turned over by China, picked off by Madeira. Another steal for her.
Uncharacteristic by Wang. You wonder if all the minutes, she's up to 37 minutes in this game, have started to take their toll.
We're down to the final 30 seconds. Pinzan fouled, China needing to stop the clock.
Yeah, and you've got to foul somebody. Pinzan's pretty decent free throw shooter, just under 70%. You'd probably rather foul somebody like Truco, shooting only 33% in this tournament.
And the first one good for Pinzan, and look what it means to her. Big celebration as she makes it a 3-possession game.
It's not just going to the finals. They know they can beat whoever wins on the other side of the bracket. They showed that in the opening round against the USA.
They only lost by 4 points to the USA in the group stage, Italy. They feel they can avenge that defeat in the final tomorrow.
And again, second chance points. Knocked out of bounds by China. Do we have an offensive foul? Looks like a defensive foul there. But again, you look at the stats, 23 offensive rebounds for Italy, 14 second chance points, 30 points in the paint.
Madeira on to 20 points for the game.
China, unless they come up with a miracle and they're in the locker room after the game, they're going to look at those stats and think what could have been.
Doing it all round as well. 8 rebounds, 5 assists. 21 points. And Italy within touching distance of the gold medal match, and they know it. Celebrations all round on the Italian bench. Yuan Li knocking down a 3-pointer to give the Chinese fans hopes, but they haven't been able to build on that, and Italy up by 9. Well, it's safe to say the mood is pretty optimistic in the Italian camp right now. Not so in the Chinese camp. On the brink of elimination in their pursuit of the gold or silver. The losers of this semi-final will face the losers of the USA-Australia semi-final for the bronze medal tomorrow. It looks like China are going to have to pick themselves back up for that matchup unless they can find a miracle finish. Down by 9, 30 to play. That's going to be a 2-pointer. No good anyway. Looking for the offensive board. Out of bounds still, Chinese possession. But another 6 seconds taken off the clock.
Well, China, they got to go quick. It's got to be quick. It's got to be quality. And they've got to score.
Yuan Li. Didn't take on the three-pointer. It's off the mark by Jiaqi Wang. Italy trying to grab it, trying to secure the ball, and do.
Looks like we have a foul going the other way. 2 free throws in Italy. You see the bench. They're ready for the finals. They've got a chance to be world champions at the under-17 level. It's not often in your life you get to win medals.
Italy at the stripe with Martina Facina, just to put the finishing touches on this semi-final win over China. And that one brings the first double-digit lead of the whole game. Facina knocks them both down. Final seconds of this semi-final, it's been pretty close throughout. Three-pointer quickly fired up short. Offensive board, one more shot for China. It's a historic first ever final at the Under-17 World Championships for Italy. They move on to the gold medal match tomorrow and a chance to win a first ever medal at this level.
And the jubilation of this Italian team, you see how much it means to them. The players hugging, the coaches hugging, everybody hugging. What a fantastic victory. They played as well as they could have played against a very, very strong China team after a slow start. And they're headed to the finals. And frankly, whoever wins the other semifinal, they've got to look at this Italian team, the way they played, and think, well, we don't know if we're going to be able to beat this team. Italy has a very realistic chance to be world champions.
And don't they know it? It already will be a first ever medal. Will it be gold or silver though? That's the big question for Italy. It'll be answered tomorrow. They'll face either the USA or Australia. That semi-final to come here in around 45 minutes time. 21 points and 8 rebounds for Sara Madeira to lead the way for Italy as they beat China in the semi-final 62-51. So we'll take a look at some of the statistics from the game, the shooting numbers here. So many three-pointers thrown up by China, just 26% though. And extra shots for Italy off the back of some impressive rebounding numbers, 23 offensive boards and 50 altogether in the game.
And rebounds, 23 offensive rebounds for Italy. That was the key to the game. They surrounded and swarmed the glass. Assists pretty even. China, 16 turnovers. Fairly well-played game after a very sloppy first 5 minutes. And here's your game leaders. Madeira, she was immense, 21 and 8. Tenzan controlled the offense at the point guard spot. Italy, how happy are they? Going to the finals, first ever medal. What an incredible achievement for them.
And Italy doing a great job rebounding the ball as a team as well. Shared those rebounds around 8 for Madeira, 6 apiece for Trucco and Facina, 7 for Kubai, 6 for Pinzan as well. And did a pretty good job of dominating the boards against a Chinese team that had Zhu Han in their ranks. 13 points, 15 rebounds for her, but nobody really helping her out on the boards. And just one of the players scoring in double figures, the 11 points for Linga Chan for China.
And credit to they needed. They ran their offense. They got the ball inside. Missed a couple layups when they needed them late in the game. But credit to them. They've got a chance to win a medal this weekend in the third place game. They upset the host, Spain. Nobody thought they would even be here in the semifinals. So they've got to regroup tomorrow, come out for a big, big third place game, come home with a medal. And like I said, it's very rare in your life you get to win medals. You have to take advantage of that. And they're going to regroup and they're going to be ready. And they've got a great team. The one problem you would think going into tomorrow's game is the amount of minutes their starters play. 37 and a half minutes, 38 and a half minutes for Wang and Han respectively. So they're going to look at that. But, you know, hats off to Italy. Incredible performance going to the finals.
You can tell by the scenes of celebration that they are going there with confidence and momentum as well. Italy booked their place in the final at the Under-17 FIBA World Championships. They beat China 62-51.
Vai col doppio, col doppio.